Good morning. Happy Monday, guys. It's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. Another Monday, the last week of April. Who could believe it? 2021. We're going to kick off this week with the one and only Cindy DeCoster with Fierce Realty on our Fierce Forward Mondays. And we're going to talk about tips and tricks. You know that information overload you get when you go to a workshop or a convention or a seminar, and you're like, want to remember all this, and then you remember none of it? Well, we're going to give you some tips and tricks on how you can take that information overload and make sure you make the most of it. So, Cindy DeCoster, welcome. You're good. You had an amazing family weekend.
I sure did. Thank you.
So excited for you and Sean Paul, and got lots of great stuff going on. All right, before we take a deep dive, tell us a little bit about you, in case I forget that at the end, which I sometimes do.
For sure. You're always so great, Ted. Hi, for those of you who don't know me, I am Cindy DeCoster. I am the co-owner of Fierce Realty with my husband, Sean. We've been realtors in the Central Florida area since 2001. And we opened Fierce Realty in 2019. We're super excited. We have amazing agents servicing the Central Florida area and specifically Orlando and Eustis.
Fantastic. And why do you have cindyforthecouncil.com as your people ask all the time, even though we tell them, still good to repeat it. So what's that all about?
Sure. I have been very active in the Women's Council of Realtors since 2007, and I have been sharing my leadership journey and leadership throughout the council. And this year I am running for the 2022 National Treasurer position. I am the slated candidate, and the vote is at the convention this May 6th.
Coming up, right?
It is
this
totally
is big.
coming up. It's
this
crazy
is
to
big.
think.
I can't believe it. We're almost there.
We are. We absolutely are. And we have been preparing for this for many, many years, let alone this campaign season for almost.
It's exciting. So go if you want more information, and we'll say it at the end too. Go to cindyforthecouncil.com. Elections coming up. If you are a voting member in Women's Council of Realtors, then you want to check that out for sure, because this is a big position, a big deal. So congratulations on running. And, we're pulling for you here, of course. All right, so let's talk about this. So we all go to these conventions. We're all looking forward to conventions because 2020, as we know, was the year of no conventions. And so we're looking forward to this. So we got to get back into the mindset. We have to get back into, all right, we're going to get a lot of information from a lot of really cool speakers and from the workshops, you name it, the stuff we're doing, everybody's getting back into it. So one of the things that we all suffer from is, oh my God, how do I take all of this information? A, even remember it, and B, make the most use of it. Because it seems like we just want to take it all in by osmosis, and we think it's just going to magically appear in the world and make us all better people. So I'm going to take notes mentally of this because I need the tips and tricks just like everybody else. All right, all you, Cindy.
Okay, sure. So yeah, we have the opportunity, being here in Orlando, we have the opportunity to attend 2 state meetings. Our Florida Realtors meet here in Orlando twice a year, January and August, and nationally we meet in DC in May typically, and then this year in November we're going to San Diego. And then if you belong to a large brokerage or franchise or larger company, you are going to attend, a year or two of your local, your individual franchise conventions. And every time they have a keynote speaker, they have amazing expos full of incredible trade shows and with amazing support for your individual business and or your leadership path, right? So how do you dissect and organize all of this information and prevent yourself from this information overload that we talk about? So we all suffer from it. We've all tried to do it all, and it just is not it is not in your best interest. It becomes, your sponge is only so deep or so thick and can only absorb so much, and then everything starts spilling over afterwards, right? So how do you
Oh yeah,
avoid
this is why I've all now started calling my kids by each other's names and the dog names. I mean, I
right?
think we all have too much in our brain, and then we go to a convention like this that we're all excited about, that we all want to learn from, and it's like, where does it go?
Right. Okay, so first things first. You want to register. So you have to be there to get the information. So absolutely. So once you register, the very next thing you should do is print out the agenda.
Oh, hold
So
on.
print
Yeah, you got an agenda. You got props today.
I got props today. So you want to print out your agenda, and then you want to take your highlighter and go through, like, what would you, one, read it first, and then go back through and go, what are the can't miss? What are the things that you absolutely have to be at and need to hear for yourself? If you're a real estate team or you have people that you work with, you really should do the convention together. It's always greater to have more ears and more eyes on the same information, so that you can kind of talk about what you heard and make sure that you didn't miss something. So it's always great to convention with other people. If you're in leadership with for example, Women's Council, it is really great to go over this agenda with your team and go, okay, you go to this one, I'm going to go to that one, because oftentimes there are great meetings happening at the same time, and you can't be at all of them at the same time, obviously, right?
That's so important, Cindy, because I think a lot of people, we get to see people again, so we're excited. We're networking, we're catching up, but in reality, Cindy's 100% right. If you have a team, you all should divide and conquer.
Correct.
Otherwise, you're missing out on some amazing opportunities just so y'all can sit next to each other and get the same information.
Right. And here's the beauty about attending it with each other, so that you can divide and conquer, like Ted said, yes. And when you are done, you can come back and then chat about what you heard, because oftentimes if you write things down, you're more likely to remember it, number one. Number two, if you talk about it just after it happened, you're more likely to absorb it if you are sharing it immediately. It's almost like reinforcing that information. Does that make sense?
Yes, totally.
So oftentimes it's, you want to chat about the weather and the school and the kids and the this and the that, and, business back at home. It's really hard to pull yourself out of your business. But if you're going to plug in and be intentional about the time you're spending away from your business to work on your business, that is invaluable time. So, making sure that you have your business covered at home is super important.
Agreed.
I know for myself, I have two kids that are now in high school, but when I've been traveling with the Women's Council since 2009, and getting all this amazing information. So for me to be physically present at the convention and mentally present, I had to know that my kids were taken care of at home. And of course, my husband is more than capable. But I'm an Italian mom. Like I like to cook for my family, right? So I always made them like a special dish, and chicken pot pie was always my go-to. That was my kids' favorite, yeah. And so that I knew that they were getting their meat and vegetables, and Dad wasn't running them through the drive-through and stuff like that. So that like made me feel good. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's about taking care of yourself, not skirting your responsibilities at home. So That was what I did. It was kind of my own little preparation for, I'm going away and I'm here, but I'm not here kind of thing. And so when I was at these conventions, I'm 100% present with my peers, and I was able to freely accept information so that I could use it back in my, again, these are life skills as well as business skills that you're learning at these conventions. And when you are fully present, I remember hearing Colin Powell. I remember hearing Donald Trump. Absolutely priceless opportunities that we're afforded at these national conventions if you will embrace the opportunities that they are. I met Brian Buffini on numerous occasions. Tony Danza was one of the keynote speakers one of the years. Like absolutely amazing, and they're not just celebrities, but they're like informational, plugged in leaders in
Yes.
in our country, in our business, and you need to give yourself permission to be there. So yes, print your agenda out, highlight what you want to attend, highlight your can't miss, and then divide and conquer amongst your team, whether it's your personal real estate team or if it's your leadership team. And when you divide, you're sitting at the table with new people. So you're kind of forced to network, right? So sometimes we have to be forced out of our comfort zone.
Why is it such a hard thing? I know. It's so funny to me because people are like, well, I just want to be with my friends. Well, what'd you pay all this money to come to this convention for? Just to be with your friends? I would have spent the money on my own private vacation. And,
Right.
that's the kind of stuff I mean, I get it because of 2020, but that was happening long before we all got suckered into 2020.
Absolutely. And so again, I look back on my path, and I made some really good decisions by accident. We did not have the money to send multiple board members to the conventions. So we were forced, quote unquote, forced to kind of get out of our comfort zone. And we went to different meetings, and then we kind of came back and we shared because, we needed to report back what we learned, right? That is kind of the task.
Yes.
And what a brilliant task it is. I mean, because truly you're sharing valuable information. You are representing your network at these conventions, and then you're tasked with bringing that information back. And it was so funny because I didn't really, a little naive. Well, let's just say that. I was a little naive in realizing that this wasn't new information. This was happening every year, all year, all the time at these conventions. And this was the task where for me, I was like the town crier, like, oh my God, did you know that you could do this and you could do that? And they were sharing these great, amazing, leadership tips and information on how to run your network, which, oh, by the way, transfers perfectly into your real estate business. So these aren't just like individual tips that only work for the council and volunteer leadership. These are amazing life skills that you can absolutely plug into your real estate business, and it transfers perfectly. There's no interpretation even. It's like this equals this every single time. It's pretty amazing. And when you
really
realize
is
that, and then helping others to recognize that is kind of my privilege. I absolutely consider it a privilege to be able to share. And people are like, wow, okay, I didn't know that. And then they're, then they kind of catch the Women's Council bug. You know what I mean? That this is a network of successful realtors on this mission to advance women as business leaders. Like, who doesn't want to join that? Like,
right.
Who doesn't want to be part of that? I'm baffled by it. I'm baffled.
I think that, I also think that people go to conventions, and because they don't set expectations, nothing happens. So they're not expecting anything to happen, so nothing happens. I know it's weird, guys, but that's actually the way the world and the universe works. So if you go in and you have no plan, if you just are going to wing it, you haven't done good time blocking because you're going to be busy while you're there, but you're paying to be there. So you need to figure out how to do your regular work during the day and still participate and be present like Cindy's doing. If you come in with no time blocking and no plan, then you're never going to get ahead of it. And you're always going to be scrambling. Oh God, I missed that one. I better go to this one. Oh shoot, I got 10, 15 calls to return. You have to really be intentional about what you want to accomplish and get out of the convention or workshops or seminars. Because if you don't, you'll end up at the end of the 2 days, 3 days, weekend, whatever it is, going, where'd it go and what did I learn and why did I pay all that money?
Yes. And you know what? I heard something, somebody said to me I don't know, 100 conventions ago, I guess. But they said, don't have the smartest notebooks on the shelf either. Like, go back and revisit this. So during COVID was a really great downtime opportunity, right? So how many times do we have? And again, I'm a note taker. I'm of the mindset that anything I write down, it definitely sticks in my head a little bit better, and it just is a jog of memory of what was said and shared. And I remember like, oh my gosh, like this is really good stuff. Like this is really good stuff. And going back and what's interesting is this: we're so different every time we go to a convention, month to month, year to year. We're different. We've lived life. We've had these experiences, and even if you're hearing the same information, never discount the fact that there's a new nugget that maybe you didn't pick up the first 2 times you heard it or 5 times you heard it, because you weren't in that mindset to receive that information. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
And
I think that go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think you're right. Being in that frame of mind to receive it is huge too. Yeah. So you can be all intentional. I'm going to do it. But if your mindset says, I'm not listening, I'm preoccupied, squirrel, whatever it is, right, and you are not open to receiving the information, you're right. It becomes burdensome. And so you turn it off and it's all this, it's lots of like chatter in your brain. Yeah. And I think that that's so important. So there's a lot of things you have to do, but it sounds like work, y'all, but it's not. You just set it up, and the more you practice, the better you become at it.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing I was going to say, let's talk about the expo, because our strategic partners and our business affiliates spend thousands of dollars at these expos. Thousands.
Yeah, we do.
Thousands. Sometimes tens of thousands to be at these expos. And so what is it for you as a realtor or as a business partner? So when you go into these expos, it's really important, one, not to be there for there's truly no way that you're going to be able to absorb everyone you are seeing. But here's the tip. They come out with who's going to be at the expo ahead of time. And
yes,
you can go in and look at it and go, okay, what am I lacking in my business? What do I need to improve on? What do I need to enhance or further your objective for your business? And then, so whether it's systems, whether it's automation, whether it's signs, lock boxes, maybe it's just jewelry, right? Accessories or something like that, that you can absolutely find it at the convention, and go in there with the mindset of, I am going to meet all of these business partners that are going to give me automated systems that I can reach my clients, or they're going to streamline, organize my transactions, or maybe they're going to have state-of-the-art software. Like lenders have amazing, right, Ted? You guys have amazing software that can help realtors connect with their customers, up their level of service, and things like that. Those are things that you can learn at an expo absolutely every time. So go in there with the intention of, you know what, I'm going to meet with, five in this category. Maybe you need hardware like printers or get introduced to BombBomb and get into videos and things like that. There are business strategies that can be obtained in these expos for 100% sure. You just have to go in there with the intention of, I am going to do this. My time is going to be spent accomplishing A, B, and C. I'm going to learn new strategies on how to put on amazing Women's Council events. I'm going to learn how to get the most out of my Radius account and increase my referral base. I'm going to learn
Canva is amazing.
Yeah. So go in there with the intention of, I'm going to accomplish this. And then you will see that the dollar amount that you spend on the convention is peanuts in comparison to what you will obtain as a result of attending.
All right, so tell us the details. When is, because we've got people asking, so when is the convention? This is specific, and I'll let Cindy go. And by the way, I just wanted to show you, wasn't this nice? The Osceola Women's Council Network got this for me.
Aw.
Well, that's sweet.
That's awesome.
So shout out to you all at the Osceola Network. You know I love and appreciate you. All right, tell us about the actual convention.
Okay, super. So 2021 mid-year convention is virtual this year, 2 years in a row. It starts on Tuesday, May 4th, and they have a pop-up PMN course. That is an additional cost, but again, PMN is the Performance Management Network. That is the official designation for the Women's Council of Realtors. On Wednesday, it starts with there's another PMN course, Effective Negotiating for Real Estate Professionals on May 5th. So Cinco de Mayo, spend it with your Women's Council family on a PMN course. The afternoon is, again, everything is Central Time on this agenda, so make sure that you are paying attention to your time and your time zones. So Central Time, we have the regional caucuses start at 3:15 Central. And on Thursday, May 6th, is the actual welcome to the conference at 10 a.m. Central Time. It is your opportunity to meet the candidates. So we've got candidates. I'm running for the national treasurer position. We have national liaison positions are being voted on, as well as national executive committee. And they have a full convention, and the actual elections take place, believe it or not, on Thursday, May 6th at 1 o'clock Central Time.
Woohoo.
And then the meeting commences on Friday, May 7th, with the governing board meeting at 2:15. So
that's going to be amazing. So it's all virtual. And where do they go to sign up? WCR.org or
WCR.org. Registration is still open, and it is so worth the investment in your business. It is so worth the investment in your for your network. And here's the great thing with it being virtual. So every challenge presents an opportunity. So with us not being in person, we're able to expose more members to what the council is and stands for at a fraction of the cost, because you don't have airfare and you don't have hotels. So take this opportunity to extend the invitation out to each of your members. If you don't know anything about the Women's Council, this is a great introduction to it. And just see what they're all about, because I'm telling you, it's like the best kept secret that should never be kept secret.
I love the convention. I'm super excited. WCR.org. If you want to learn more about what Cindy's doing in her office, if you're a voting member, go to cindyforthecouncil.com. There's so many great things going on. And you know what? If there's no travel involved, think of all of the things that you can do with that time where you're not traveling. There's a lot of good stuff that you can do, and you can block your time better. Thank you, Rose, for that. You can block your time better. You can get a lot accomplished. And then guess what? All of that stuff, that's the fun stuff, but that kind of is a distraction. You're not tempted to do that at night, so you can get up early in the morning to do the things. And we all know what Ted's talking about. So this is a great opportunity for get involved, learn more, figure out what you want to do, because I guarantee you at some point we'll eventually come back to our regular in-person conventions. This is a great opportunity. And vote for Cindy if you're listening and you are a WCR member and can vote. All right. Amazing stuff. Thank you.
Yeah,
kicked it off, got me energized. We're going to have a great week. Thank you so much, Cindy, for all you do in our community. Go to cindyforthecouncil.com.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll see you back next week. Thank you guys so much for all the love.